Hello and welcome to this exciting and educative episode of your favorite program, Zimbabwe, the Awakening Giant, where today we are focusing on how Zimbabwean youth have embraced government's developmental programs to empower as well as to enrich themselves. The National Development Strategy 1 program that was introduced by government has created opportunities for youth and women alike in various sectors of our economy. In Marlborough, Harare, there is a young accountant who swapped his accounts apparatus for horticulture production, and he has set up a mushroom spawn laboratory that is now supplying the bulk of mushroom seed in and around Harare, as well as teaching would-be mushroom farmers how to venture into this lucrative business.
The Zimbabwean mushroom industry can be divided into two. There is the commercially grown mushrooms, and there is the wild mushrooms, which is foraged in the forest. With the foraged mushrooms, the issue here is waiting for the rains, because these are seasonal mushrooms. They grow in the wild, as you might know. So for these varieties, we wait for the rains, and the foragers go into the forests. Vochitanga kuchiita zvakaita sana tsuke. I think the most common foraged mushroom in Zimbabwe is nedzi. I'm not sure what inonzi chi neamwe ma languages, but in Shona we call it nedzi. That's the most common one. And with the commercially grown varieties now, we are trying to simulate what would be happening in the wild to grow a mushroom here throughout the year. So these are more or less the same varieties that would be growing in the wild, but it provide conditions. Amboita kuti mushroom yaibude in the wild for a specific period of time for the rainy season. Now to trigger those conditions, and we are growing throughout the year at a commercial scale.
So who is eligible to grow mushrooms commercially?
So in Zimbabwe, anyone is eligible to grow mushrooms at a commercial scale. That's one of the beauties about Zimbabwe, the openness for anyone to participate in agriculture. We have people in the urban areas, in the urban setups, who are growing mushrooms. We have people in the rural areas, in the most marginalized parts of Zimbabwe, who are successfully growing mushrooms for a living. And this doesn't need anyone to have a specific degree or a specific licensing, because mushrooms, just like vegetables in your garden, that's just the same thing. It's just that with mushrooms, it's a more delicate process, and usually we encourage people to get trained first before they start, because without proper training, you can easily make losses with mushroom production. So we strongly encourage whoever wants to participate in mushroom production to first get the adequate training. Unlike other vegetables like kovo and so forth, those ones we can grow, we can go batanza 1+1 with other with other background knowledge from other crops. But with mushrooms, you need specific information, specific training. One of the biggest advantages of mushroom production is space. It doesn't occupy a huge space. So mushroom is not cultivated per ground. Ino cultivated muma rooms, and it vertical farming here. So on a very small space, you can grow your mushrooms successfully. So issue of space, it's not a concern. Whether you're living in high density areas, low density areas, even from big farms, it's quite a flexible project. We have people who live in high density areas who construct cabins, space where people, construct a small cabin there, or even convert into a mushroom growing room successfully. So one of the biggest advantages of a mushroom project is that space and kutizonandinamunda is not an excuse. So that's one of the golden advantages that we have.
Takatarisana nemarket mushroom. Chirimwe here chekuti tingatoti kana tachirima there is a ready market for it.
Well, you know what? Mushrooms for a very long time have been undersupplied by the market. I think nguva yaisupply wa mushroom yakawanda it was pre-independence. But of course consumer vacho vanga vari vashoma. Now especially the urban population as well as consciousness health as well increase the demand for the product to such an extent yakuti very few outlets very few retail outlets sell mushrooms, especially those common outlets like varim CBD and varim nzvimbo dzinongozikanwa dzine mbiri. Those few outlets do sell mushrooms, but if you go to a lot of supermarkets dziri muma-suburbs dziri muma-location hadzina mushroom simply because there is no enough supply to feed that market. But otherwise it has a very big demand, and demand yacho it's largely driven by the flexibility of mushrooms muma dishes, especially muno Zimbabwe. And mushroom nesadza, a lot of people they love that, and also my restaurants edu they like a lot of mushrooms. I'm sure you know the famous chicken and mushroom pizza, which is sold by most pizza outlets in Zimbabwe. They use a lot of mushrooms, and also most of the demand also comes from Chinese restaurants, because from Chinese cuisines pane inonzi mugu gai pan, a dish rinoshandisa a lot of mushrooms. It's a very delicious dish. Also my Indian cuisines, they have the mushroom masala, which uses a lot of mushrooms. Very spicy and very delicious as well. And yeah, generally my supermarkets where they take a lot of mushrooms.
Nditwa Phineas Gogo toshanda company inonzi GrowZim ndogadzira seed yemushroom ndobasa toshanda saka ndishandira mulebo tinogadzira seed yachona. Tinogadzira seed, togadzira makits, mbeu yedu yatogadzira toshandisa mapfunde edu tinoisa machemicals atinoisa asiyana nemapfunde kuti ungonotenga mapfundo utangoti wagadzira mbeu yako zvitode musiyano mugadziro wachona. Ine mugadziro wedu atoisa tagadzira tozoisa mulebo, yagara mulebo nopatotora madays munhu unozoyostora inenge ichiri mulebo ichigadzira tichiona kuti yakamira sei.
Ko amuri kuti makits mimi ndo akaita sei nenguva Phineas?
Ndo mabhegi achona anodyarwa mushroom inenge iri mumaplastic anenge akatodyarwa kudhara zvokuti munhu anotora chinhu chatochena kudhara chache white aitotora autotasira pa 2 days 3 days akutanga kutodiridza ozitasira kuti harvesta mushroom yake.
Why business rekuti ningatopunduke nichitoendesa vana vangu kuchikoro here kuMbau?
Tori business rekuti unokwanisa kutoendesa vana chikoro ungototenga stand yako nekutoita zvimwe zvekuti unotosimukira kubudirira kana nekumusha kana ngosina kuwaka unotowaka.
Ndingati pakakura sei kuti nditange kurima umu?
Ukaita na cabin yako 1 room kana 2 rooms iri kana ma 2x2 kana iri 1 room unototanga kutosimuka business rako uchitenda mberi zidzimara uchikudzawo maroom ako.
Ruzhinji rweZimbabwe izvi zvinochema kuti hakuna mabasa, asi tichisangana nezvirongwa zvakaita sezvo zvekurima uwa, chamungade kukurudzira mhuri yeZimbabwe kuti iite chii mimi mukoma Phineas?
Zvatotokurudzira funga kunochidika wangasiyana nezvemadrugs, mutoriro, guka, waite zvekurima mushroom. Iproject yakachipa chaizvo. Akatanga kutenga 2 kg yake seed yembeu yedu, atenga 2 kg yake chamburitsira 8 mabhegi ndo makits achona. Pa 8 makits yayo atotanga kukura. Akatengesa makits mushroom yacho akukuwa pa 8 makits. Achanga awari kutanga kuramba achitokura achitiya chuya choda mushroom yedu kana kuhodha makits zvese tinazvo.
More and more countries come back to Zimbabwe and look at us for the supply of high-quality food products, as evidenced by the recent links between Zimbabwe and such countries as the United Arab Emirates, Japan, and other African countries. It is up to us as a people to utilize the outstanding weather conditions we experience as a country, the land we have, and the abundant water to produce for the continent as well as the world at large. We take a short commercial break. Please join us shortly for more. Welcome back. In today's program, we are looking at mushroom production with a special emphasis on how women and youth are tapping into the various sectors of economic programs that have the potential to uplift their lives and present huge business opportunities for them as well as others downstream. Still in Harare and in Ashton Park, we managed to talk to Lorraine Machingura, a mother of 6 who was introduced into mushroom production by a pastor's wife.
Project mushroom yakandibatsira zvakanyanyisa. Sezvo zvandataura pekutanga kuti ndine vana 5, ndine vana 6. Saka 4 of them vese vari kuenda kuchikoro. 2 masecondary, form 1 neform 2, one ochari grade 5, one ari ECD. Saka mari yachona school fees imwe chete kutobatsirika kubva from this project. Besides school fees, my lunch box isusu munomba kana tichibva everyone anobuda achienda kumba, saka achienda somewhere kumabasa kana kuchikoro. Saka lunch box everyone anototakura lunch box. Saka mari iyi yemushroom inondibatsira zvachose, kunotsvaga chingwa, kunotsvaga something zvinobatsira semuriwo pamba zvokuti hatisonyanya kundiramba tiri kuhomwe yababa tichiti baba mari. Iri zvakare ndakazokwanisa kuno kwatinogara hakuna magetsi, saka ndakakwanisawo kunotenga fridge yesolar yatiri kutoshandisawo kuno kwatiri kugara kuburikidza nemari yatatiita yehowa, because takazoti takaita indobva ndatozokwanisa kuudzawo vamwe 2 3 vatiri kuitawo navo, vatatanga kubatsirana, vatatanga kuita unonzi mukando wekuti tinenge tichikandirana mari tichisanga tichiita mari yedu yehowa. And patakaita this project, patakatsvaga vamwe market, mumwe nemumwe anga nemarket yake, saka dzimwe nguva pano makitsi edu abude ka1 ese, saka panenge pasina mumwe howa wake aine market yake anotorawo wemumwe unokafirwa kwake. Then mari yedu iyoyo yes though tiri kuishandisa kuma-lunch box, but imwe chete tiri kuichengeta, then tichizotengawo zvimwe zvihombe sezvatitaura kuti takakwanisa kusomudzawo solar fridge nekuburikidza nehowa, and upenyu hunoreruka pamari, because this project inokupa mari almost every day.
In Mashonaland East Province, Ngoromodze, a young mother of 2, Fezila Mhlanga, actually quit her formal job to go full-time into the production of mushroom.
How I got into the mushroom business, I was actually roped in by my late mother, Mrs. Aisha Chimwanda. The background within mushroom within our family, this is something she was doing ever since I was pretty young, maybe looking at a tender age of 5, mostly doing button. Mushroom oyster, I started 2018. I wasn't doing big volumes. You know how it is when your parents says, come try out this business, come try it out, you're reluctant. So I started 2018 with maybe half a house of what you guys have seen. Till today, I've grown, taken over from where she left since December 2021.
What's your secret behind the success of your business?
Well, the secret behind my success, wow. Consistency is one. Number 2, yes, there are times when we have a downside in terms of the output, but the little I have, I make sure I touch base with my market. Communication with your market is crucial, so that they always know what's going on. You have other big suppliers that are trying these out and putting it out in the market, but having consistent input, communicating, and fresh produce. I can't emphasize that. Mushroom is a very sensitive product. A lot of people grow up knowing mushroom being poisonous and all. So I like giving my produce fresh, not more than 12 hours from picking. That's how I normally like to handle mine.
Okay. So how are you working with producers of your mushrooms, Paul? Are they consistently supplying, or they also have it outside?
No, they're very consistent. I think I nag them a lot because every little hiccup I get, I'm touching base. Either it's a picture with WhatsApp, this is what I've picked up, or this is what happened. But my supplies have been very consistent. I cannot complain. That I can say it fully. I cannot complain. I am a happy camper. I can actually say I think I can hold that my supplier as my lab because I don't think I'm going to move to go to anyone else.
Okay. Why is it important for suppliers to have a good relationship with their client?
Well, it builds that client base. Knowing your client and their needs, you're able to predict their next move and make sure you've accommodated them prior to them requesting it. I think I can take an example for me. I think I'm either having seed every 2 weeks. I'm going for seed or kits every 2 or 3 weeks. And never a time have I called in and said, okay, I'm coming to pick up some seed, or can I have some seed? Never had, no, you can't. No, we don't have, we're out of stock. It's always, when do you want to have it? Which is what the market should be. When do you want to have it? Farmers here in Zimbabwe, chibage, tinorima chibage. You find there's maize seed everywhere. But unlike mushroom, you have to go to certain particular places or certain labs. And I'm happy with my lab. I don't have any problems with it. I get consistent feedback. They even check up on me if I go quiet for a while, which is a good sign for me.
We have always said Zimbabwe for Zimbabweans by Zimbabweans, and when we have young people in the country now producing goods and products for our market, then it points into a positive direction which projects the growth of our economy. We take another short commercial break. Please stay tuned in for more. Welcome back. In today's episode, we are looking closely at how giants are emerging onto the Zimbabwean food production sector, with particular emphasis on the production of mushroom, which had taken a knock since the closure of businesses by former white commercial farmers. A new breed of business people is taking mushroom farming in the country to another level, and the formation of the Zimbabwe Mushroom Farmers Association is proof that these people are ready to go an extra mile. We caught up with the treasurer of this association, Mrs. Juliet Makombe, and this is what she had to say about her organization.
Zimbabwe Mushroom Farmers Association, ZIMFA, we have a constitution so that we are a serious organization, and our vision is coming together as mushroom growers so that we, by 2030, we become one of the biggest mushroom growers in Africa. So that's our vision. Because we are realizing that the mushroom growing industry of late, or maybe later, it's almost like a backyard activity. So instead of remaining as backyard, so we're saying let's mobilize ourselves, let's come together and be business minded, because if you look at the statistics, we need to understand the mushroom industry as an association, because globally, if we look at billions in other countries, they are producing billions, and even here there was a statistic to say demand is about maybe 700 tons, but if you look at our production, we are only 200 tons. So, and also we are trying to say, let's not be secretive about our operation. Let's be open, and share information so that together we can understand the industry, because it's a very maybe it might be labor intensive, it's scientific, it has got technology. You have to have a knowledge, because most people tend to think that you can just get rich overnight, but by maybe just going on the internet, looking at the notes, but there's more to it. So really, as an association, we are saying is let's look at the training. Even we've been trying to look at those people who are training, so that you don't shortchange your clients. So we are saying, let's not just take it as a light business. Let's be very scientific and understand what is entailed to make sure the mushroom industry grows. Because we have seen, even in South Africa, there's one Zimbabwean who is doing very well. So we need to understand globally. Even in China, at one stage, as an association, we even invited a German expert to come and train us, so that we really understand more, into the industry.
As the producers of mushroom look at taking their products to the next level by value addition, we spoke to Michael Mute, who is now producing biltong out of his produce.
We're based in Harare, at Churros Road. We manufacture mushroom biltong. It's not dried mushroom, it's mushroom biltong. Basically, the nyama without the mombe. That's what we call it. Basically, during COVID, people became more health conscious, and they started eating things that are more healthy, and that's where we saw that there's a gap. That gap was mushrooms for us. There's obviously other products out there, but when we're looking around for something that is catchy but also healthy, we looked at the mushrooms, and then we decided also to add value to mushrooms, not just have mushrooms as you normally have them, but to add value. And how did we do that? We started making mushroom biltong, which has added value to the mushroom, and it's healthy. It's super healthy. It's actually deemed a superfood. So adding value to that brings plenty of value towards what we're trying to do.
You have a unique product. How is your market taking it?
The market is loving the product. A whole lot of people initially, when you tell them this is mushroom biltong, they say mushroom biltong. They can't believe it, they can't understand it until you get them to taste it. And then the fact that you've told them that it's mushroom, then they know it's mushroom. But otherwise, if you didn't tell them, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference between our mushroom biltong and normal beef biltong. So the market loves it. It's now about scaling up. The mushroom industry is growing in leaps and bounds. It's something that can get even bigger. The only issue is people finding a way of adding value, not just getting mushrooms and packaging them, but finding other products that you can make from mushrooms. For instance, what we are doing with mushroom biltong. But the industry itself is growing. It had taken a dip, but now it's kind of recovering.
Is there still gap for other farmers to venture in, or other business people to venture into this industry?
100%. Look, there is so much scope for other people to come in to this industry. Like I say, it's about being creative and looking for your little niche. But in terms of mushrooms themselves, the world is your oyster. There's so much opportunity.
We asked Michael how they discovered this mushroom market.
We were going around Harare, testing our product, going to different markets as well, small markets. And when we came here, we were actually just looking around. And then we realized that no one is doing what we're doing, and yet people are selling different products. A lot of it is food products, a lot of them are farm products, a lot of them are supposedly healthy products. So we realized that we can fit in even in this niche market, in this niche product place. So we just asked the people who run this place, and they said, yeah, you pay a certain amount of money for a table, just book at the beginning of the week and we'll give you a table. and that's been a few months since we've done that, and we've got very, very good results and feedback. However, as good as this place is in Borodale, we're thinking that this is just the start. Like I said, the world is our oyster. We want to saturate the Zimbabwe market. The products that we have is the mushroom biltong. We've got 3 flavors at the moment. We've got garlic flavor. We've got chili flavor for those who like really chili stuff. And then we've got the original or plain mushroom biltong. Those are the products we have, but also we have a DIY set where you can actually just put water into a particular bucket for maybe 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks you're getting your own mushrooms fresh, and as you need them, you harvest them, and that can last for up to a month. So we've got those DIY kits as well as these products, the mushroom biltong, which is just as good as beef biltong. I love beef biltong, but this is as good as beef biltong. I just want to say, like we said before, fortune favors the brave. You've got to try things, but also try to add value. What we do with our mushroom is add value, and we know for a fact that this stuff is healthy, and then we add value on top of that. So it's about adding value. Don't try to sell things just for the sake of making money or for the sake of selling, but sell something so that someone is happy with that product. And we are very happy with our product. When someone receives it, we know that we've added value and they appreciate it as well.
And finally, asked to comment on their relationship with the providers of spawn and other relevant materials for the growth of their industry, Michael said,
from the very beginning when we got into the market, he's someone who was able to provide us with the mushrooms, provide us with information, provide us with support, someone who's very patient and listens to what we want, and then he works out something that can work for both parties. So with GrowZim and the person that I know from GrowZim, Tapiwa in particular, you can go very far.
When a country produces innovative young people such as Tapiwa, Michael and Fezila, to mention but a few, then you can rest assured that the government's vision of an upper middle class society by 2030 is achievable without a doubt. We hope you enjoyed what we brought you today and that you will definitely tune in again next time. In the meantime, pleasant viewing.